Together. Isn't it nice to see this entire crew together? It really is like a family, and having seen you guys do so many of these Comic-Cons and Fan Expos, I guess my first question is sort of what keeps this family going? Like, you guys all legitimately seem to like one another. You all seem to enjoy one another's companies. So what is it that just kind of keeps you guys going, as opposed to some other shows or properties out there where people disperse after the end of the run? They just never talk to each other again. I'm going to start with Ryder. Why don't you start?
I don't know. Like, maybe we were just so lucky to have a really great group of people. We get along with each other. We always had so much fun on set. But really, I guess part of it was that Boy Meets World felt like it was a popular show, but it was also kind of flying under the radar, and so we sort of felt like no one was watching. Also because it was mostly kids and families, so we weren't getting a lot of mainstream press like other shows. So we sort of felt like we had our own corner of the sandbox to do whatever we wanted, and I think that's what's led to this fan base that's lasted so long, is that there's lots of in-jokes and self-references, and all that stuff was so much fun for us, and it's lasted and it's survived.
Also, we have like the best aspects of a family where we get to see each other kind of whenever we want, and we don't have any of the worst aspects of family, which is being forced to be together when you don't want. So we make each other laugh more than I think any group of people I know. The minute we see each other, we start laughing. And when we get together, it's just kind of like a nice break, and then we go our separate ways, and then we come back. It's nice.
Ben, do you want to add to that as well?
You're doing great, sir.
I would just add that I think that we've all known each other for so long at this point that they do really feel like family. And I think when you spend that much time with someone growing up, we've seen each other throughout our ups and downs, and we've spent so much time together that I do feel like these are siblings and friends, and I don't know, it's just immediately, no matter how much time has been since we've seen each other, as soon as we get back together, it's like nothing's changed. It's like just getting together for a big family barbecue every time we see each other. It's like cousins or brothers, and I don't know, I feel very lucky that I'm with such a great group of people.
And I guess my next question is directed to you, Bill. Like, when you approached this show, what was it about it that appealed to you? Obviously, you've been involved in a lot of dramas, musical. What was it about this, youth-targeted show that really appealed to you and made you want to come on board?
How did you all find this place? I enjoyed going to work with these people, very much so. We all became kind of a family, and I think we all respected each other's talents and persona, and we got along extremely well. And it's always a pleasure for me to get back together and to see these people. Oh, she's with me. And anyway, I'm glad to see you all here. How did you find this place?
They came looking for you guys. They came here for you.
Stephen Amell.
You answered. Stephen Amell. Yeah, I do actually. I'm curious, especially since you came on later in the show.
No, I was around the set a lot,
right,
because Bill was on the show for so long. I was doing other things, and then I got onto the show. But all the time that I was on the set, I use the word nice, but they were all nice people. And all their relatives seemed to be very nice. And it was very pleasant, and they all had a lot of fun. Bill was much more serious. He kind of stayed by himself a lot more. I kind of got that with some of the other people who chatted, but and then when I came on the show, it was fun. Some good shows, some that weren't so good, but some good shows. They were.
Donnie, which ones don't you like?
The Bee. I don't like the Bee.
I don't either.
The Bee. I didn't like the show about the Bee.
Well,
That's the one. It's like a brain in a jar.
yeah. Yeah.
Very bizarre.
Yeah.
It was not fun to shoot.
No.
For whatever reason.
Was I not in that one?
No, you probably were just
It
erased
was later. It was a terrible shoot day. We didn't have an audience. Things, I don't know. We were like way behind, and it was like
little things.
there was a lot of tension.
What season was it?
6 or 7.
And I was in it.
Yeah, you know you were there.
You were there.
Beekeeper.
They had somebody there that was anesthetizing the bees.
Ew.
What? And then they would anesthetize them for just so long, and then they'd come back. And then Bill said, whoops, it's alive.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. This is like.
That-
It sounds like the episode that David Cronenberg directed. Like it sounds very
The
bizarre.
Phi episode of Breaking Bad.
Yeah, exactly.
The Phi.
Is the beekeeper called an aperturist? Am I right in that? Am I
Aperture.
wrong in that? I think that's
Any
Yes.
beekeeper fan?
Nobody.
Apiarist.
There's one person in the back, am I right? Is it aperturist?
She's just raising her hand because she said,
Yeah.
Oh, I can't hear you.
Is it aperture?
Make large. Oh, you're running up. You can just make large changes.
Just a thumbs up will work.
Aperturist?
Oh,
No.
Wow.
okay.
Aperturist sounds like someone that's involved with
That could be it too.
eyes or lenses or something. But
Thank you guys for coming to our bee panel.
I appreciate that Will is trying to like branch out into a very niche audience.
I'm
Like,
trying to. There was a machine that we carried around that answered questions.
if only. If only.
Something like that.
Actually, and both Ben and Danielle, I'm curious. Like, it's funny because every so often, Danielle, you'll post something on social media and it just explodes. And it's like, especially when it's something Boy Meets World related. And then recently, I think just this last week, there was the photo of Ben holding your baby. Like, so first off, how surreal is it that there's still just this audience out there that cares so much on the internet, like whenever you post anything? And then also, Ben, what was that experience like for you to hold the little baby and everybody to assume that it's somehow Boy Meets World related?
Yeah, I still, this is gonna sound like no one's gonna believe me, but it's true. I still don't ever expect that reaction. I just post things. My Instagram's not like curated for anyone other than me. It's just stuff I like to post, pictures I like, things that are important to me. And Ben had come over to our house and had met Adler, and he took that picture and he sent it to me, and I had held onto it for a while, and I was like, I really want to post this picture. Didn't think that it was going to be like picked up by anybody. Just thought it was going to go onto my Instagram, and the world loved it. I really missed the opportunity, though. Everyone pointed out to me to say, "Boy met our world." Really, really missed an opportunity there. I said, "Original boy met our boy," which I thought was clever, but not as clever as the world one. So.
Too late to change it?
Well, I could do edit, just alternate caption.
Yeah.
But really,
Welcome to our full house. No, that not work.
That one last time.
Yeah, we take it step by step.
Mental note.
Family matters. I think that would work.
This is stupid.
I don't know how to work Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Is Sabrina the baby witch?
Teenage, wasn't that one?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a teenage.
Why you guys are not working in the marketing department for ABC, I'll never know.
Yeah, aren't we good? Did we find out the B answer?
Yeah.
No, I'm close.
Is that for sure?
Happier.
Apiarist.
Oh yeah.
Happier.
Apiarist.
Thank you. Happier.
Thank you, internet and person in the front row.
Sorry, I ran over your.
Yeah. Ben, why don't you weigh in on that?
Meeting Adler.
Yes.
The robot. Quite a big.
think
Quite
Adam
a
was
bit.
very special for me. First of all, the baby's adorable. Also, I just want to congratulate Danielle. She gave birth very, very short time ago. She's in Boston with us now. And I would just say that for me, it's, I don't know, it's like full circle seeing this whole thing, but I think this is Danielle's best role yet. I've seen her since we were 11 years old, and it's just really a joy for me to see her as a mom. And she's sweet. I just want to say that, you know, some first-time parents, when you meet them, they're very uptight. Don't look at the baby. Look at your all in your hands.
Look at the baby.
Yeah, you know,
Don't make like direct eye contact with the baby. Like,
I got to Danielle's house and they were so chill. I walked in and someone just handed me the baby. Danielle was in the other room chatting with her friends. Jensen, her husband, was in the other room chatting. I was like, oh, I'm good.
she was home though, right? You didn't just like walk in and be like, give me the baby.
Also, hold on a second. We were having a party to meet the baby. So there were 20 people there that love the baby, that know the baby. And so it wasn't just that we just had Ben over and someone randomly holding a child.
Yeah, I feel like
Walked in, they're like, here, take this, I gotta go.
Yeah, Danielle, I feel like there's crisis management to be done here. So the next story that goes on People is not.
Exactly.
Danielle just lets
They're like-
people come in. And,
Ben tries to give me a compliment about being relaxed, and it turns into she apparently doesn't know her baby.
Point is, she's such a chill mom. She's so laid back.
never around the baby, so chill. Like,
I don't know.
No.
on that note, not the segue I thought I was going to have, but on that note, let's throw to the audience questions right up front. Hi.
Hi. So, like many of us, I'm guessing, a lot of my life lessons came from Mr. Feeny. He had great words of wisdom.
He's like, what?
Out of curiosity, what are all of your favorite Mr. Feeny moments or words of wisdom?
I still think the last scene of the show, Dream Try, do good. I can't even think about it without tearing up. So emotional, because it was such an actual transition in all of our lives, as well as our characters. Just giving Bill a hug. Maybe never going to act with him again, Luckily, we got to do that on Girl Meets World. But yeah, so that scene is one of the most profound for me.
Eric and Mr. Feeny had a very interesting relationship, so there was a lot of life lessons. But the lessons that I took were not Mr. Feeny lessons so much as Bill Daniels lessons. From we were kids working with an acting icon who was a child actor, who'd been where we were, who had done it all and was still doing it all. And so I took most of my lessons from him in that regard, where it was how to be a professional actor. He was never late, he didn't miss his lines, he never missed a mark. He never treated us like kids, we were fellow actors. So that's more what I took from him. And as Mr. Feeny, that Yale was not a possibility for Eric. So I think those were probably what I took away.
We can talk about lessons. There's a million of them, but I think my favorite aspect of his character was the relationship that he had with Corey, his relationship that he had with Ben. Just because it's any adult who spent time around someone 12 or 13 knows that even if you love them, you're super annoyed by them all the time and find everything they say and do to be outrageous. The thing I love about that is that I think that's kind of how Bill felt about all of us in real life, is that he respected us and he appreciated our talent, but he also found our joking to be obnoxious and found, our loud kid behavior to be somewhat annoying to him, who was an extreme professional. So when I watch the show and I see that relationship that he had with Corey, it just reminds me of the real relationship he had with all of us, and that's the thing I love the most.
Ben, do you want to weigh in on that?
What was the question? His favorite line?
Your favorite either Mr. Feeny lesson or Mr. Feeny moment?
Yeah, make something up. Yeah, doing craft service. I think that I'm always going to remember acting with Bill. The scenes in the earlier episodes of Boy Meets World when it was Corey and Mr. Feeny by the fence, or Corey and Mr. Feeny in the backyard. I remember being 11 or 12 years old, and Bill and I would be filming these scenes, and I don't know, I just always have that like distinct memory of just the two of us filming together. I don't know, it's just a good memory I always have.
How about Bill and Bonnie? What were your favorite moments, either performing as Mr. Feeny or a piece of advice that you gave to the kids? What was yours?
Boy, that's a good question. I don't know. There were a lot of moments. Well, probably my favorite moment was my last moment in the show, where they all left the classroom. And you know, Mr. Feeny was kind of stern, but when they all left the classroom, and this was the end of the show, I said to an empty class, "I love you all." And that was one of my favorite moments. There.
After Boy Meets World, the series quit, we didn't see a lot of the kids at all. And then all of a sudden, like 20 years later or something, here they were, and they all looked the same to me. And we all looked, both of us looked old. we were old. And Michael Jacobs asked Bill to come back and do a couple of things on Girl Meets World. And we went back in. Bill was very anxious about it because he no longer was doing those big parts. He was no longer doing a lot of verbal parts, which was his forte. And he was still doing some voiceovers and Kit, Car, and stuff like that, but not the heavy acting like he had done. So he was kind of nervous about it. And we went back in, and there was Ben, all grown up, and he'd say, "Come on, Bill, let's do it again. We'll get it, just do it again." And that was so moving to me, to see the kid, that little boy, grown up, helping Bill on the set. I was very moved by that.
I would just add that I think that was one of the most important and meaningful parts of doing Girl Meets World, was that we were able to bring people back. And it was really kind of a chance to sort of relive your childhood, which, you know, not many people get that experience or the opportunity to do something like that. So I think for me, when I look back on Girl Meets World, the best part was that you got to act with all these people again. And that's a very, very rare thing to do in Hollywood. And to do it as an adult was just such a special feeling for me to have the chance to work with everybody.
Yeah. Oh, I just want to do a quick follow-up though. Your opinion, Bonnie, is, of course, you know, when they're scripting Mr. Feeny, they're giving him all these amazing pieces of advice, sage-like pieces of advice. But at home, in all the time that you've known Bill, is he a wisdom generator? Is he a guy that just says sage-like things all the time? Or does he just need it to be scripted for him?
At times, yes, but the best thing about Bill is, as rough and difficult as he can be, he's very funny. He says things right in the middle of a very tense moment that crack you up, and you laugh, and it's all over, because he does do that. That humor just comes out of him somewhere. You either have that in you or you don't, and he's one of those. Nancy Walker always said, he thinks funny. We think funny. She said that about herself. I think funny. And he thinks funny. And that makes life a lot more pleasant for me who doesn't think funny.
All right, let's throw it to another audience question. Hi.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Huge fan, obviously. Me and my girlfriend actually drove up from Philly to see you guys. I always wondered, watching my whole life, how you balanced school and the show, or to basically just count that Mr. Feeny taught you your whole life.
So that we had teachers on set who were amazing: David Combs, Wesley Staples, David Speck, and yeah. So we had teachers on set that were amazing. I personally picked up my curriculum from my local high school, the school that I would have been going to and that I did go to when we were on hiatus weeks. I picked up the curriculum every Monday. The teachers would put it together for me over the weekend. My mom would drive me to school, I'd pick it up, and then we'd drive to set, and I'd hand the curriculum over to the set teachers, and they would teach me what every other kid at my high school was learning at the time. And then on our hiatus weeks, of which we had one every month, I would go back to my regular school. And so then I was basically at my regular school 1 week out of every month, and then when we were on hiatus from March until June, I'd be there full time. So I got to, by choice, have a really normal high school, really normal for an actor, high school experience. I got to go to all the football games on Friday nights. I went to every school dance, except for one where I was grounded. And then also got to work. So that was how I balanced it, and everyone had their own different experience.
Yeah, by law, you have to be in school 3 hours a day as a kid actor. So we would usually do 4 or 5 hours a day on Boy. It was great. It ended up being, I think we were really lucky because our teachers were so good. And part of the crazy thing about going back to Girl Meets World is the kids had the same studio teacher.
Oh my god.
So it was like, Wesley was still there, and in the classroom had the same things hanging on the walls, and like, and it was cool because a lot of us ended up directing some episodes, but I directed a bunch, and I would go to Wesley about the kids. I'd be like, Wesley, what's going on with Sabrina this week? Because I knew that the studio teacher is the person who knows the kids the best, because you're in school all the time. In fact, in some ways, like a lot of our day was just school, and then you go do like one scene and you go back. So that's where we really bonded as a group of friends, and that's where we spent all of our time.
Yeah, I'm just going to jump. To go with what Ryder was saying, there are some teachers, set teachers, that aren't necessarily as great, that don't have as strict of rules about what you're learning and about keeping you on target. Our teachers, we were very lucky, took it very seriously, and we were going to learn, and we were not going to take the easy way out. It wasn't going to just be that they said we did our time and that was it. Like when we were in school, we were in school learning stuff. And they also took us out for like real life experiences. They took me to my first opera, and that wasn't something that they were doing at my high school. That was just something that was above and beyond what my school was doing, that they felt like I needed in order to have like a cultured life experience. And I appreciated that about them. They took me to museums and bought me art books that I still have that they signed, and we were really lucky with our teachers.
I only did like half of my senior year in high school in the set school, and then I stopped with the book learning. And I think goodly it's worked it now.
Goodly.
So yeah.
When were you most prominently featured on Boy Meets World?
Oh, that's true. That is a good story. I am. So whenever you watch Boy Meets World, and I know this is what you all think, like, oh, thank God, an Eric episode. That was because that was the week that Ben had his SATs. Or finals, something like that. So I'd read a script and be like, oh wow, Eric's going to adopt a little boy. Oh, that's right, Ben's got a science final. So every time it's an Eric heavy episode, it's because Ben was learning something. So I wanted him to get as smart as possible because I just got more episodes. It was great. Go for the master's degree, man. It's a great idea.
Unfortunately, this is going to be our final question, but I know we're blowing through some time here, but
well, we're ending on plasma squirrels.
I want to say thank you to all of you for great memories, great episodes through my childhood. My question is, is there anything on the show you didn't get to do that you would like to have done?
Fix whatever that is.
He just looked at me seriously and said, "Is that a train?"
Yeah.
Train going through the convention.
Is there anything that we didn't get to do that I wanted to do?
I mean, Will and I always wanted to be able to work together, and then we tried it one time, and it was a disaster because we kept making each other laugh too much.
Yeah.
So they never let us do that again.
Yeah.
We were in season 7. Very rare. It's like spotting an albatross. Anytime you see Ryder and I working together, it's every time. Yeah. No, yeah, I would have loved to work more with Will.
I would agree with that. I think especially Sean and Eric were such different characters that I think there was a whole lot of untapped comedy there. So that would have been fun.
Yeah.
Just because of your outfit, one of the things that's so special to us is that our fans have appreciated the episodes just as much as we have. And I think that's such a lucky thing to have, is that 15, 20, 25 years later, is it 25 years? 26 years later, people are dressing in the characters that Will played, or coming up to us and letting us know the special memory they had or a special episode that meant something to them. And that means more to us than you guys could ever imagine. So I do want to take this opportunity to thank you guys for all of your support, and thank you for being here for us.
Just as a final note, I'll also pass it to both of you guys. Was there anything that you would have liked to have done on the show that maybe you just were not able to do with your characters, or even behind the scenes?
We got married, but we didn't have kids.
Can we do a sequel? Maybe?
The episode, part 2 of the B episode.
Yeah, bring it back. Yeah.
Bring back the bees.
Bring back the bees.
Well, guys, so I just want to say, before I let these guys go, I'm fortunate to host for a lot of shows, a lot of casts, and I see the impact that these shows have on our lives as fans, and this show in particular is very special. I think you guys are a great fan base, but I think having all of these guys together is a very special moment. So before I let them go, I just would like to say, if we could just get them to stand, you guys, show your love, and then I'm gonna let them get out of here. So just if you guys can stand up, I'm gonna send you guys off. Give it up for the cast of Boy Meets World, guys. Thanks very much. Give it up for Ryder, Will, Ben, Danielle, Bill, and Bonnie. Thanks so much, guys. Thank you, Boston.